Sports came to me from there. So yeah, growing up, I watched a lot of sports. I played a bit of badminton myself, and I did a lot. So I go like, all right, everybody, it's time to get up for the bottle. हमारे साथ है वो शख्स जिन्होंने कई सारी नारियां खेली. So yeah, you have such instances which sort of go like, oh my god, did I just do that?
It's often said that what you achieve and become is always destined to be. And today, my guest speaker is a perfect quintessence of this because an engineer by qualification and a sports presenter by profession. So, uh, an engineer turned sports presenter, I would take this opportunity to welcome Ms. Ridhima Pathak, one of the most suave sports presenters around, and would like to thank her and double thanks her because she's joining us directly as she has reached home and directly joining us. So uh, without any delay. So again, thanks a lot, and I hope you'll enjoy the session further.
Hi, Utkarsh, how are you?
Fine, fine. I'm fine with them. So, firstly, I would like to ask and actually break my curiosity because I would like to ask what pricked your mind and you landed up in TV and broadcasting because I would like to know the journey of Ridhima Pathak, an instrumentation and control engineer, to Ridhima Pathak, a sports broadcaster.
Well, I think it was destined to be, but I think all throughout my engineering, I was doing a lot of debates and elocutions. So a lot of anchoring came very naturally to me. Um, but I think Utkarsh has disappeared, but I will still continue for the viewers here. So what happened is that post my engineering, I was working with an American firm. I was working in software R&D for 1.5 years, and then I decided to just quit my job one day because I wanted to go ahead and do my MBA abroad. So when I started applying for my MBA, I realized I still need a job to survive in Pune because my dad had been posted out in Lucknow. So then I went to this friend of mine who had this real estate firm, and I said that, dude, I need a job. And he goes like, I've listened to your voice, and also at my engineering, like I said, I used to do a lot of voiceovers and host events. So he said, why don't you just host this one particular cricket gig that I'm doing, where I've got some clubs from Pune to play against each other, and it was happening at the Pune club. So if you host, it'll be nice. I said, okay, cool, but after that, you have to give me the job. And he was like, okay. So it was the 26th of Jan 2014 when I first did cricket commentary over this particular match that was being played on Republic Day. They liked my work, so they gave me a league in the month of Feb. And I think that sort of changed my life because in that league there were a lot of former cricketers who had played at the PYC Gymkhana and Pune Club, and there were some sports journalists who were present there to give away the awards to the budding cricketers there. And that's how I started auditioning, and I got a break with hockey first. Then I got a break with kabaddi. Then I did UBA, which was the Indian basketball. Then I did NBA for 3 seasons. I'm still doing the NBA for Sony. Then I did Asian Games, and then I got a break with.
Oh, so actually, a very interesting journey and very successful sports presenter. So, first of all, congratulations on this journey and many more successful years to come. So,
Thank you.
uh, one very specific questions to female sports presenters, and that is, did you like sports before landing up in this field? Did you like sports, and if yes, then which one?
So growing up, my mother was a crazy sports fanatic. She would watch any match. She would watch a test match between, I don't know, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. She would probably watch a test match between them. So she was a crazy sports fanatic. She also played badminton on state level. So I think sports came to me from there. So yeah, growing up, I watched a lot of sports. I played a bit of badminton myself, and I did a lot of running, which is cross country and stuff. So I think a bit of knack for sports came from there. But like I said, all throughout my childhood, I always wanted to be a very good orator. And I was a very expressive orator. और अगर मैं न्यूज़ भी पढ़ रही थी तो मैं ऐसे न्यूज़पेपर खोलकर खुद ही की आवाज़ सुनने के लिए मैं जोर जोर से पढ़ती थी. And if anybody asks me an advice on how to become a good orator, the best way to become a good orator is to actually read loudly so that you can hear your own voice and see for yourself if you like the way you pronounce certain words, if you like your own diction, if you don't like that diction, whose diction do you like, so that you could probably learn from there. So I think the best way to become a good orator is to actually read loudly.
Yes, and in front of mirror as well. It's a good practice. It is good to listen that your mother was a cricket fanatic, and just I also like to just the same way. I can watch any match, any cricketing match between any nation, even if an associate nation is playing a game, I can still watch. I watch the whole domestic cricket in India, and a huge cricket enthusiast lies inside me. So that's cool.
So
Another thing, uh, uh, it's a human tendency that we often forget. We often forget the hard work which is done behind, which is put in, and we just look at the success and glamour of a person, which overshadows, I think, the hard work, and which is never looked upon by any person. It's a normal human tendency. So today, through this platform, I would like to ask you and request you to just describe some of your challenges which you face, because everyone thinks it's so easy to go up there and speak out something and anchor something or host something, and actually, but the actual picture is that a lot of hard work is put in. So just I want to ask you to describe that struggle period which you went through.
I think the struggle was, there is a struggle when you're actually trying to really, really chase something. Honestly, I was not trying to chase anything apart from being good every day. So that is all what I was trying to chase. I was only trying to chase work hard. So I don't know if I can call it a struggle because I was never like depressed or I was never like, oh my God, why is it not happening? I think struggle is a very like negative word. I think I was just very happy doing what I was each day, and that's the reason why I kept
Enjoying
progressing.
every bit of your
Yeah,
work,
I was
enjoying every
totally
bit.
enjoying my journey, so it was not at all a struggle. But if you say like, what was like a challenge maybe? So the challenge was to probably break into the national platform. I started doing a lot of live commentary in, matches that were not being broadcasted between, local clubs and local leagues. But to sort of break into the national platform, I think that was a challenge. Because it requires a certain level of a game, and it also requires you to be very good at live broadcasting, which is, you should be able to hear your director's commands while you're talking to someone else. And that is all that live broadcasting is. And you have to be very spontaneous, and I think become very free in front of the camera, not be scared of the camera at all, and try, like being able to sort of be able to deal with disaster situations. Like for example, a commentator has thrown to you saying that, so say Virat Kohli is with Ridhima Pathak. Now Virat Kohli say is stuck somewhere, or he's with say another broadcaster. So now as the anchor, you're supposed to cover it up while he makes his way to us. So these kind of technicalities is what probably learning this was the challenge. And then once you learn that, I think broadcasters also sort of get comfortable with you that she's not going to do any sort of goof ups on live television, because once the camera just goes on, then that's it. There are millions and millions of people watching you. Nobody has a control on it. So I think when people gain confidence in you that you're going to be very etiquette, you'll have the camera etiquettes in front of live TV. I think that's that, like getting that sort of confidence of people was the challenge. But other than that, it was a very beautiful journey.
It is actually a motivation for many, because you said to enjoy each bit of your work, and so from now the strugglers, I'll not towards strugglers. Say it's a motivation for them that they need to enjoy every bit of their work now, and don't call themselves a struggler. You
Strugglers.
are
Yeah.
actually a motivation for many,
Rohan
and
Sharma is saying
inspiration for
hustlers,
many.
and that's the right word. We are hustlers.
Okay, true. So you are a motivation and inspiration for many. But today I want to know who was an inspiration for you. Who was your role model growing up?
Well, in terms of anchoring, I think I look forward to Harsha Bogle. Other than that, Alan Wilkins. Now, when I have sort of developed a little bit in front of cricket scenario, I really look forward to Ian Bishop. And I've always said that as a professional, I not only look forward to people who are very good at their job, I also look forward to people who are very good professionals, even when the camera is not on. How you are behaving with everybody else who are working with you to make you look good in front of the camera. I think that sort of professionalism, that sort of kindness, that sort of generosity is what makes me a big fan of people, rather than just being very good at your job. You know, I think overall, if you're a great person, is when I feel like, wow, this is the person that I should probably follow and have my respect for. And I think there are plenty of such examples in the sporting world, and the man who tops my list is Ian Bishop.
And I've listened several times that Ian Bishop is actually the guy who actually embraces you and makes you comfortable while commentating, and even gives the other person his chance. Once I was listening to Harsha Bhogle, and he was saying that when the great Sachin Tendulkar retired, and it was Ian Bishop who was commentating with him. Ian became silent. Ian just remained silent for 5 minutes, and gave the mic to Harsha that it's your time, it's your turn, just commentate. So it's a good gesture, and that's why I think he tops the list in of many who have worked with him. So that's cool.
Absolutely. Even
Now,
even during the England versus New Zealand finals of the 2019 Cricket World Cup, if I'm not wrong, Ian Smith was the last person commentating, and Ian Bishop
yes.
was with him in the commentary box. He just let Ian Smith roll it out because he had gotten so much into the game and everybody like everybody else, but he was just at it. So and he let him have his moment. So yeah, I think Ian Bishop is truly a very nice
Yes, because there are some moments which actually remain much more than their age, and they are remembered for long. As you can take the example of 2011 World Cup when Ravi Shastri took that commentary stint last. So it's really feels nice. It really feels nice that someone who is making you comfortable, and means you don't feel that you are a newcomer. Really embraces you.
yeah.
It's good. Is the most challenging part of your job. Most challenging, which
I think the
presents
most
a
challenging
good
part of my
challenge.
job is the fact that I do host a lot of sports, not just cricket. I host the NBA. I hosted the Asian Games. I think the challenging part is to do the
Yes.
kind of research that is required so that you seem really fluent with any and every game that comes to you. So for me, the challenge was that when I was shifting gears from hockey to kabaddi, there was a whole bunch of rules, there was a whole bunch of players, there was a whole bunch of a history that I had to go through. Then when I shifted gears from say kabaddi to basketball, then there was another set of rules, another set of players, and this time I was doing Indian basketball league. So there's another set of players, another set of history that I had to learn. Then from UB I went to NBA. So NBA has a history which dates back to the 90s and even before 80s actually. So there was a long history there. The rules were different. There was, I mean, to learn about each player, Eastern Conference kya hota hai, Western Conference kya hota hai, all of that was a challenge. Then, of course, cricket comes to us naturally because we are Indians and you've always read and heard about it. And thankfully, there was no coaching required in learning the rules of the game for sure. And of course, more or less, I knew every player, and but still, it still requires a lot of research because there are newcomers, new batsmen always joining in. So new players always joining in. So that was, I think, that is a challenge when you're shifting gears between sports. I think when you have to do your research, that is where you should pay the maximum attention to because you don't want to look like a fool in front of the camera. So I think that is the nerdy part that comes in.
And it's said that every challenge brings an opportunity. So it's on one part it's a challenge, but on the other it's good that you are educated about each and every sport, most of the sports, and which you post and or which you anchor. So it's a good part that you remain educated about each and every sports and recent developments and happenings around. So uh, now I would ask that. Challenge. Now I'll go to your strength. What do you think is your biggest strength that bolsters you as a person and as an anchor that bolsters you? What's your biggest strength?
I think I'm a quick learner and I have a great voice. I think these are my two strengths.
I was expecting the same, especially the voice one, because I heard previously that you actually take a lot of pride on your voice, and always you've mentioned that it's my biggest
Yeah,
strength. It's my biggest strength. Recently, you've covered the Women's World Cup as well. So, and you are anchoring the NBA as well in the studio. So, what do you like the most? Do you prefer studio or like going on the field and covering on the field?
I really like
Because both
on the
are
field
different
because I think I
experiences.
really draw. Yeah, I really draw my energy from the fans and the ambience that is there. Having said that, studio has its own charm. It has its own class, and it's nice. It's nice and relaxed like that. But on field always because of the energy that it has.
Yes, altogether different fervor. Fans create the atmosphere there. So, uh, there's a question for you. Some book recommendations which everyone should read. So, any recommendations from your side?
I think the most recent one that I was reading is I'm too late in reading that, but very old book. But I'm just reading that, and then I'm also reading this one book, which is a finance book. But I don't know how many people would be interested in. I'm very interested in knowing about finance, so I'm reading about finances right now. That's about it. These are two books that have occupied my shelf.
Any sports book?
Any
Any sports book which you?
I think I'm reading a few autobiographies. I have not. There are a lot of these fictional sport books that people are reading, but I have not gotten there. I'm more even on Netflix. Like I love watching documentaries, so I've never been like a sci-fi kind of a girl. Never been into like too much romantic movies or anything. It's always been documentaries. So I think the most recent one that I saw was the Michael Jordan one, uh, and of course
Right,
the latest
it was
interview that
great.
came
It
up.
was great.
It was fantastic. It was really good. Really something.
Uh, Another question before I move to my last question. Another question I have: who mentored you in early days? Asked by Rohan Sharma.
Many people actually, beginning with Mr. Kapil Dev. So he gave me a very interesting tip. I was so the biggest challenge about live broadcasting, like I mentioned, is to be able to hear your director from one ear while you're talking to your expert or your player from the other. So to get accustomed to that, what Kapil Dev suggested for me and for many others who were there in that workshop is that from now onwards, start talking to people with music in one ear, so that you get accustomed into diverting your attention in two directions. And I think that was a fantastic tip, and it really helped. So that was one. Um, Another one was, of course, a lot of people, and why I keep saying this in every interview of mine. a lot of people always mention that content is king in sports, so never take your content lightly. And I think this was the biggest mentoring I got during my early days from everyone that I met. So it's really, really registered in my blood.
Okay, so as you mentioned about the director's directions from the airpiece, so I'd like to ask that any moment or any instance where the earpiece didn't work and you had to just cover up the situation, or you have to just mold the situation. Any instance?
No, the earpiece has always worked. Sometimes it just drops from your ear, so then you just like sort of continue the conversation and ask another question while the camera moves to the player, and you just put it quietly and then start listening to your director. So I don't have an incident where the earpiece didn't work, but it has dropped from my ear many times.
Okay, sure. So now, as I come to an end of this session, I would like you, I request you to give some advice to budding sports presenters and anchors. What piece of advice would you give to them?
I would want to tell you that no matter how good looking you are, no matter how well you speak, if you don't know your sport, there is no place for you. So you should really, really know your sport, learn your sport, read articles, and of course, you have to be really, really camera friendly. You have to be confident in front of the camera. So that just comes with practice. Um, to begin with, what you can do is that since all of us are anyway quarantined and we do these live sessions, so this is a great time and way of sort of looking at your own self while you talk, and you could start practicing that to gain confidence in the way you look when you talk, if that sort of anywhere bothers you. So I think that's a way of gaining confidence, and of course, keep following the sport that you want to be posting. That's about it.
So, in a nutshell, I think education, preparation, and practice is the key going forward.
Yes, Utkarsh, you actually said it better than I did.
No.
Which is the funniest goof up you've ever done on a show?
Oh,
I'll tell you one.
sorry, I missed it.
Okay, I'll tell you one, which I very recently did. I was hosting NBA at say so NBA, we go on air at around 6 a.m., 7 a.m. according to whenever the games are playing
Yeah,
in the US.
according to the time
It's early
zones.
mornings. Yeah, difference in the time zone. So early morning anyway, you're like half groggy, half sleepy, having plenty of black coffee so that you stay awake. I don't know whether it was that or what it was. We were doing a show on Christmas, okay, and I was supposed to throw it to the game after my pre-show, which was happening around 5:30 or 6 a.m. in the morning. So I go like, all right, everybody, it's time to get up for the bottle. Instead of the battle, I said bottle. So everybody,
But
let's get up for the bottle. I think this is like, and because you were throwing to the game, it was not even. I didn't even have a second to actually correct myself on it because the game was almost like tipping off. So that's it. I said it, and then the director cut it to the game. So that was a bit of a goof up that I did.
yes, you were mentioning an incident of Jatin Sir.
Yeah, I was mentioning a very funny incident that he told me in one of my live sessions. He said that he was doing the show with Virendra Sehwag, and he was going to introduce Virendra Sehwag, and he said, हमारे हमारे साथ है वो शख्स जिन्होंने कई सारी उनको पारियां बोलनी थी उन्होंने नारियां बोली तो उन्होंने बोला हमारे साथ है वो शख्स जिन्होंने कई सारी नारियां खेली so yeah, you have such instances which sort of go like, oh my god, did I just do that?
Actually, and sometimes a slip of a tongue becomes a trend. I've seen many instances where a slip of a tongue means you have to say a particular word, but a slip of a tongue mentions something else. So it becomes a trend as well. Not in this case, not in this case, but I've seen some instances. So
हाँ maybe हो सकता है like very
yeah,
recently I was supposed to say that COVID is a pandemic. I said it's a plandemic, and then it made a lot of sense to me. So yeah.
okay. So now I'll move to that quick rapid fire questions. So my first question to you is tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Okay, your favorite partner. Which company is you the best while anchoring or representing?
I've always been a person who's always hosted alone. I've never really had a partner. I never co-hosted too many times, but I would say Manas because he's been my co-host on NBA for too long.
Okay, your best moment while presenting.
2019 Cricket World Cup, India versus Afghanistan, right after Mohammad Shami's hat trick.
Great. Uh, One of your most weird quirks. Most weird
Most weird what?
quirks.
Works.
Most weird. Huh.
Most weird quirks. I don't know. Nothing's weird about it.
Okay. So
I
how
think
would you
I,
rate
I
your
think I
memory?
I love dancing alone. If I
Why?
get happy or sad, I start dancing. That should be weird.
If you get sad, you start dancing.
Yep, I do. To cheer
Okay,
myself
then
up.
it's weird.
I do that.
Then it's weird because
It is
when you
weird.
get happy,
I thought so.
it can
When I
be
get happy, I
understood, but
dance. When
when
I
you
get
get
sad, I dance.
so now it's weird. So
It is
how would
weird,
you
yeah.
rate your memory? How would you rate your memory between 1 and 5?
My memory?
Yes,
Oh, very good. Very good. It's four and
five.
a half. I'll give it
Oh,
a four and a
uh,
half. I'm typically I can be that wife. तुम्हें याद है तुमने आज से 10 साल पहले ये कहा था? I can totally be that wife.
okay. Okay. So please be careful if you are giving any commitments to Ridhima ma'am. Please be careful to actually fulfill it. Otherwise, everything is stored in that RAM. So
Absolutely.
your favorite sportswoman, favorite sportswoman.
Jemima Roderick.
Why?
I'll find her too much fun and talented. Not just in sports, but other than that also. I find her too talented.
Yes,
Elise
uh,
Perry.
I, I saw I saw your recent interview in I think it was the last World Cup, Women's T20 World Cup when you interviewed
Yeah.
Jemima Rodriguez. It was good.
Yeah, yeah,
Your
yeah.
favorite sportswoman?
Sportsman.
Yes.
Did you say sportsman? So I really like this guy called Stephen Curry in NBA. So huge fan. And other than that, in cricket, MSD.
Cricket, MSD. In hockey? Oh, sorry, badminton? Any? Women,
In
sportswoman or
badminton, you're talking
sportsman?
about
Both sportswoman and
uh,
sportsman.
well, everybody loves PV Sindhu. Who doesn't?
Okay. So now I'll give you the names of few persons and you have to describe them in one word. So first describe yourself in one word.
Me, I'm energetic.
Okay. Mithali Raj.
Uh, Leader.
Okay. Roger Federer.
Stylish.
Okay. Late Kobe Bryant because you've covered NBA a lot.
Legend.
Good legend. Virat Kohli.
Uh, Moody.
Can say. But he's improved a lot. He's improved a lot
No, no.
and matured a lot.
Of course. But I just find him in all positive way. I find him moody.
Yes, and you interviewed as well. Interviewed him as well uh, during the last 2018 Cricket World Cup. I saw your interview.
That was my claim to fame. I'll never forget. I think that is my favorite moment of the 2019 World Cup.
Okay. Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh, every woman's crush.
Lionel Messi.
Uh, Best footballer ever?
Would say the great Sachin Tendulkar,
God.
god of cricket. Okay,
God. Everybody
MSD.
refers to
Okay,
MSD.
MSD.
National sentiment.
And last, Smriti Mandana.
National crush.
Okay, can say, can say. Uh, now I'd take some questions. Rohan Sharma is asking, are you hurt with the retirement decision of MSD? As no MS, no more Dhoni in blues.
Yeah, it's going to be something that all of us are going to miss, isn't it? But I guess that's the only thing about time is that you cannot.
Uh, uh, Actually, can you please repeat because you are not audible. You're not audible still. You is joined again.
Sorry.
Now continue.
Yeah. So I said that I think the thing about time is that it is something that you just can't hold on to. So I think all of us, all we Indians, are definitely going to miss MSD in in the team blue jersey. Uh, but I think it's that's the beauty of time. You just have to move on.
Yes, because someday or the other you need to hang on your boots and say goodbye to the game. But we are fortunate that
It is what it
we'll
is.
see him. But we are fortunate that we'll see him in the yellows. So
Yeah, Chennai Super
one
Kings.
word.
Yeah.
It's asked one question that one word to describe David Beckham.
Um, uh, Gorgeous and a gorgeous wife.
Thanks a lot, Ridhima ma'am, for coming and having this lively session. And it was super fun talking to you. And obviously turned
Thank
out
you.
to be an erudite conversation for me. Learned a lot. So thanks a lot, and hope
Thank you.
you enjoyed well. You enjoyed it as
I
well.
loved it. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks a lot for this. Thank you. Bye, Utkarsh. See you.